All right. What's up, YouTube? I'm Lo,
And I'm Emma.
and you've reached
Book Girls on the Internet.
Internet. Okay, we're talking about Rouge by Mona Awad, Canadian writer. Briefly, what it's about. This is about the main character, Belle, who has to go back home to California in the wake of her mom's sudden death. And she, like, basically the setup is like she's very into like beauty routines and
Skincare
skincare
specifically.
routines. Yeah, skincare routines. And yeah, so she goes back to California to basically deal with her mom's passing. And that's the setup for the story. Um,
Lori, what did you think?
okay, this book was so weird. Like, I think it was the weirdest read, I think, that I did in all of 2023. Um, like, Night Bitch was weird, but I kind of like that weird. The Rouge weird, I didn't like very much. Um, but it was interesting, but I feel like I understood that basically Belle is like warped into like this beauty cult, and I don't know. I liked the theme of like beauty obsession, like skincare obsession and stuff like that, but I didn't love the packaging, and yeah, it was just weird, and I didn't like the main character very much. Like I wasn't attached or anything. What about you?
I fucking hated it. I think,
Having 1 star review.
let's see what I actually rated it in my app. I don't think I gave it 1 star. I didn't rate it. I did not give it a star rating. Okay, so I have read one of Mona's other books, Bunny. It was chosen for one of the book clubs I'm in last spring. So 7 months ago, something like that. And I read Bunny. I didn't DNF it. And I came out with both books with similar feelings of like, what the fuck did I just read? And I went to the book club and half of them DNF'd it. And the other half were also like, what was that? I'm super confused about how, like, the popularity of specifically Bunny, but also her books in general, because there's obviously a tying theme. Like, there's always this cult like narrative kind of woven through. I was trying to figure out what the genre would actually be. And some, I was literally Googling it. I'm like, is it considered this? No. So some that were coming up was cult, gothic horror, dark fairy tale. Especially in Belle or in Rouge, there's a lot of fairy tale elements that are woven
The
through.
Mirror.
The mirror, but like, it's like unreliable narrator taken to the extreme, where I'm like, I'm left with so many questions about what's real and what's not real, because it's all like through her perspective, which is a jacked perspective. And I don't find this book neither of them, I don't find them enjoyable to read. Like, I'm confused, I'm irritated, and I have questions that I want answered. Like, this whole thing where people are like traveling through the mirrors, I'm like, what does that mean? What's actually happening in real life?
Yeah, like
The
what are the
whole
visions and like what's and
Seth
it's
Tom
so hard.
Cruise thing.
Yeah, I thought that was so whack. I was like,
I'm like, obviously you were a very troubled child and you experienced some sort of abuse that now you've like packaged into this memory. And I do like, it is a memory because from other books I've read, the brain will like rewrite your memories to protect yourself. So that is believable to me. Where I had the questions, especially, is like the forehead scar. What's how did you get that? What happened? Like, I don't know. I wrote some notes when I was Googling more things. I usually don't Google at all. But I was like, I want to say what I want to say. So I have my notes on my phone, and then I have my Googled notes.
Period. Let's hear it.
Period. My notes on my phone, I said, when she goes down the stairs to her first treatment and the shoes stop letting her walk down. I was like, I want to unpack that more. But also I don't, because I hate this book.
Also, I hated the shoes. I thought that was dumb.
I also wrote Hudson at the end. So like she got out, but now he's sucked in, like, and that's just the end. So okay. And then I wrote, ugh, classic Mona. And then I would like that one. In my Googling, I came across oh, I wish I had written down the headline. No, I want to find the headline. I'm literally going to Google it while you're talking later. But the quote I took from the specific Guardian has 2 reviews on it that came up. One's positive, one's negative, which I find very interesting. This one, the quote I pulled was, Awad has a true commitment, a unique register, and a great ability to synthesize her influences. But readers might not enjoy being trapped inside a 384-page Lana Del Rey song. And I thought that was fucking hilarious.
That's funny.
I know. That's what
I love the dedication to research, because to at least at least you kind of were just kind of like, WTF, let me look into this. I was just kind of like, WTF, clothes put back on the shelf.
I want to be an educated hater, okay? The headline was Rouge by Mona Awad review, like drowning in poison. It's like, well, you did not enjoy that.
Like, I will say, it's weird because I was even surprised by my own reaction, but like when her mom's soul, the mommy jellyfish, we're gonna call it, saves Belle from the cult and frees all the soul, like for some reason I thought that was touching, and I was like, okay, maybe this is the one symbol that I can understand, or the one commentary that I can understand, is that we learn through Belle's memories and her relationship with her mom that like this whole like desirability politics was passed down from the mother to the daughter. Like Belle has very dark features and her mother is like very fair and light and everything. And then the process of this whole cult like basically turns
gives you the glow, but just turns you pale as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's
pale and like flawless in terms of having like, no flaws, not like beautiful.
Yeah, like it's basically like whitewashing the person from the inside out and sucking their soul out. So I thought like the overarching like story was like I understood that, and then at the end of the day, the mother saves Belle from this beauty cult, but it's like it's kind of meta in the way that it's like, yes, it's a beauty cult,
but it's not just
not in the movie,
right,
in the book, but the beauty cult in general that impacts women and girls is that we're all into these desirability politics, and in the end it's the mother who like pulls her out of this mindset. So I thought that was interesting and touching, but it remains that at my core, I was like, honestly, if Belle had tragically died off of chasing beauty, I would have been satisfied too, like
yeah. So, the scene before she gets saved where Seth picks her like pseudo friend in line and then the person has to like eat their jellyfish, that scene is horrific. Like, yeah. And she's describing the screams and like it's just like, ugh. The race aspect was really interesting because sometimes it felt really subtle and other times it felt like a fucking glaring sign. So she was like, as you said, the mom was like this pale, fair white woman, and the person that she'd had Belle with was an Egyptian man. So, and she was always like, Belle's always talking about these like stories from her childhood about how her mom is always like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky, you're so lucky, you're so lucky, like you just look so much more beautiful. But I don't know, I feel like you already touched on that and I'm trying to add something but it's not coming out, so I'm just gonna move forward. But what I did like, a part of the book I enjoyed, but also didn't really understand, but I just found it enjoyable to read, was the losing of the language. Can you explain that to me?
Oh, I forgot about that element.
So they just like get words really mixed up. Like
Yeah,
they'll mean to say subtle and they'll say saddle, like something like that.
yeah.
It's just entertaining to me,
Yeah,
but I
I
didn't
did
really
not
get it.
think about that much harder.
Okay, me neither.
Um, and yeah, like I said, I actually forgot. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Um, yeah,
I think with this book and this type of book, I'm not a hater the way I'm a hater for Malcolm Gladwell. I'm more just like this is not for me. I am not the audience who enjoys this. I think the people that do will love it. She is a very talented writer. She writes like very descriptive things, and she has like good like plot arcs and character development and all this stuff. Like she has talent, absolutely. But this style of book is just not for me. It's not for
yeah.
me.
It's just like I like finishing a book and have like a clear takeaway of like this happened, like it made me think about this and that. But like this one was just kind of like, wow, you know? Out of curiosity, I'm just on Goodreads and I'm trying to see off of this book, like where it says readers also enjoyed.
Yeah. What do they also enjoy? Bunny?
Um, Penance by Eliza Clark. Don't know it.
Me either.
Monstri Monstrilio, don't know it. Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Huang. That's also on my list, but now I'm just kind of like, oh.
Maybe it shouldn't be.
Wow, I don't know any of these. Okay, Death Valley by Melissa Broder, that's on my list.
Okay.
Weird, okay. Ripe by Sarah Rose Eater. I actually bought that book, LMAO. Now I'm kind of scared.
Well. Looks like you are the target audience.
It's weird because like I like weird women character, or like just
Because the whole time I'm reading this, I'm thinking, you picked Night Bitch, you picked the animal. Like, if I'm grouping our picks together, those three are all getting thrown in the same
yeah,
pile.
I like the like weird dark women.
Yeah, we're taking a break from those, just so
But
you
it's
know.
like I think we need to draw a line and I don't know where to draw it.
Oh, we found the other side of the line though. Like
Um
reverse.
yeah. But yeah, so not book girls approved. At
But
least I can
again,
say
if you like that genre, then it's
I like
approved.
that genre, yeah.
But I fucking don't.
Yeah, it was just I think in general too, it's just like it's hard to enjoy a book when you don't care about the character. Like I wasn't rooting for her. I wasn't rooting for Belle. Like I was just like,
Yeah.
you need to get a grip, girl. Like I don't know. I know your mom died, but like,
But
don't
moms
get
die
to
all
me.
the time in books. So like
I know.
with
At the
it.
end of the day, she's just a book character.
Now you just, every Disney princess has a dead parent, like at least one. So
Yeah. Cut second segment. What's a book you read recently, Emma, that you would like to share with our audience?
um actually I read it digitally, but I have a copy because my friend bought it. So I'm gonna show you. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. Jesus. The book is called Swimming in the Dark.
Oh, nice cover.
It is a nice cover. I'm gonna totally butcher this name. Tomasz Jadrowski.
I think that was okay.
Thank you so much. Basically, it is. We bought it at Gay is the Word, which is a little independent bookshop in London. And it's the story of the relationship between these two men in Poland in the 1980s. And it's a romantic relationship. And it's, first of all, I'm like, my history knowledge is embarrassing. We won't go into detail on it, but I, suffice to say, didn't necessarily know a lot about what was happening in Poland in the 1980s. So that was fun.
Neither do I. Like, you know,
Fun's maybe the wrong word. It wasn't very fun for Poland. Basically, Russia was like, after the Nazis left, Russia took over, the communists took over. So it was in that era. And I think, yeah, it's in 1980. Martial law was declared and people were not allowed to leave the country. And if you were trying to get permission to leave the country, you had to like apply for a passport and try to get special permission, so that they could trust that you weren't going to defect and not come home. Okay. Anyways, it's not really about that, but that is a pretty important backdrop for kind of what's going on between them in this relationship. Anyways, it's really beautiful. It was just, it was really nicely written. It was like the history parts were well woven in, and it just felt real. Like it wasn't like a kind of a predictable thing. Not that it was unpredictable necessarily, but it was just, it was lovely to read. So that's my recent read.
Okay.
What's yours?
Mine was what I read right after Rouge, and I was just like, I need a book win, okay? Because, you know, having a book L just doesn't feel good. So right after that, I just picked up an essays.
Classic Lori.
I picked up essays. It's called My Time Among the Whites, Notes from an Unfinished Education by Janine Capo-Cruse. I don't know. I don't know how to say that name.
You nailed it.
But it's relatively short, 200 pages. It's the essays focus largely about the author's Cuban identity and being a first-generation college student, now turned professor. And she grew up in Miami. Yes, I'm pretty sure Miami. And she went to school. Oh, I forgot the school. Some like white elitist school. And it's interesting to hear her like talk about like her race depending on the context, because she looks white. Like to me, she's a white Latina. And it's only like when she left Florida that she found out that she's not that white, I guess, depending on the context. Like I thought it was interesting, and you know, great commentary about like college education and like opportunities or lack thereof in the US. And one of my favorite essays was about Disney World, and how, you know, in Florida, like Disney World is like the main attraction even for locals, and most Floridians like don't actually spend time in parks or nature or stuff like that, because every vacation is about Disney. So you go into like manufactured world. Yeah, I'm maybe misquoting, but that was like my main takeaway. And anyways, I thought her commentary about Disney World was great. It was really good.
And it was a win after your book out.
This book was a win, okay? I gave it a 5-star review.
Okay.
And yeah, there's even an essay about like her working with her first financial advisor, like figuring out if she wants to buy a house, if not, and like her journey through that, which I feel like people like don't really talk about that. I don't know. I just thought it was great.
Nice.
So yeah, that was the book that I liked recently. And Viola Davis, but we can talk about that.
Have you finished that yet?
Yeah, I finished it.
Okay.
It was great. Okay, I think we're done.
Yep.
Cut. Okay, if you like, no, thanks so much for watching. If you liked our video,
Please